Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name's Izzy and I collect cool to hot growing orchids here in my apartment in Sydney. Today I've got a very exciting what's in bloom for you, so I'm going to flip the camera around and let's get started. Okay, so the first orchid that I want to show you is my beautiful Rhynchostylis Retusa. This one is it's almost fully open. You can see there it's still got a couple of buds to go down at the bottom, but she is looking gorgeous. This one has quite small flowers. It's also known as the foxtail orchid. So they come down in like a long pendulous spike. Hope you can see. I'll just adjust my settings. When they start opening, they are more of a grey colour and then they turn to white. And these ones are quite sort of pinky purple, more on the pink side, but they can range from pink to purple. This one I got from one of my favourite growers, Roland Orchids in Queensland. So this is the first time I've seen it bloom. I think it's actually the first time it has bloomed. It didn't have any evidence of previous flower spikes or anything like that when I got it, but it is a decently large size. I hope you can see. And Rhynchostylis are one of those that are quite slow growers as well, so this one's not going to get too big too quickly, but I definitely wanted one that was sort of flowering size so that I didn't have to wait too many years before it gave me some flowers. So yes, I'm very, very happy with this one. It is also slightly fragrant as well. I just had a sniff of it before. It's not fragrant right now, but normally it does have a little bit of a fragrance in the morning. It's sort of quite a soft, sweet fragrance. Some of the Rhynchostylis giganteas I've heard can have quite a strong, some people say it's a bit of an unpleasant fragrance. Giganteas are ones that I would love to get as well at some point, but at this stage I just have my little Retusa, and I've got another Rhyncho cross that is just starting to open as well that I'll show you in a couple of minutes. But yeah, this orchid, they class as sort of cool to hot growing, so it can be quite versatile in its growing conditions and growing needs. So it's a really good one if you want something really beautiful with sort of dainty flowers. And as the plant gets bigger, of course its flower spikes, its flower spikes will get longer as well. So and it can produce multiple flower spikes too, which is very exciting. But no, I'm very, very happy with this orchid. Just give you a couple more close-ups. Oh, it's so pretty. I cannot wait till the whole thing is open. So nice. And you can see it does have tiny, tiny little spots on those little white petals, and that beautiful pink labellum as well. When I got this one in June at the Mingara Orchid Fair, I did keep it inside for the rest of the winter months until it started warming up in spring, just because I was a little bit too worried that transitioning it, you know, from living in Queensland where it's warm most of the year round, or warmer than Sydney at least, that it would go into a bit of shock and it might drop too many leaves and have a bit more of a difficult adjustment. So it was living inside under some grow lights hanging on a window. It was receiving slightly less light than the other Vandas that I have, because Rhynchostylis don't need necessarily as much light as some of the Vandas. So yeah, this one's a really good one if you like something sort of vandacious with these beautiful flowers, but you don't have necessarily really, really bright light. Obviously this one's been happy enough that it has given me a flower spike, so I must be doing something right. I brought this one out in spring as the weather started warming up a bit. So it's probably been out here from roughly, I'd say September-ish. So yeah, it's been out here for a little while. Maybe the boost of light and the warmer temperatures sort of encouraged it to spike. I think they can actually flower in sort of winter, spring and summer, in and around that time, but obviously moving it outside, it got a bit higher light and a bit more warmth, and was getting watered more regularly as the weather warmed up. It produced its spike, and it took a couple of months for its spike to grow and produce its buds, and then for now them to open. And I'll probably keep this one, I don't know, I'm kind of undecided about what I'm going to do with my Vandas this year, whether I keep some of them outside during the winter and see how they go now they've been here just under 12 months or so, or if I bring some inside. And I mean, this Rhyncho, as I said before, can be a cool grower, so maybe it will be alright outside. Okay, moving on to the next orchid that's in bloom at the moment. I might have to adjust some of my settings, is this gorgeous Cattleya. So this one is, let me get the tag for you. This one is, woo, Gulfshore's Beauty Green Gem. There you go. So this one I actually got at the Sydney Plant Lovers, I think it's called like the Plant Collectors Fair or something like that, something along those lines. I just love this one. It's got such a striking flower. It's like a lime green with a really bright sort of magenta pink. It does have a few little spots as well in that lip. I hope you can see there. Whoops, sorry, I'm not filming this very stably for you, but it's beautiful. I'm still sort of getting a handle on Cattleya care. It was a little bit of a struggle initially, but now, I mean, this one's flowered all on its own in my growing conditions, so I must be doing something right. It is a decently sized Cattleya as well. It does have quite a few new growths. It has about 3 new growths. And I got very excited when this one got its little sheath in its new growth so that it might flower, and then I could see the flower spike producing and getting bigger and bigger. And when this flower opened, I actually moved its position because it was on one of my shelves sort of underneath, and I thought, oh, I'll move it over here so that, you know, you can see the flower a little bit better. And of course, once I moved the flower, it then decided to abort its other flower spikes because it obviously wasn't getting enough light, or something along those lines. So yes, it only has 1 flower this time. I'll show you, where are the other ones? Yeah, you can see one of the sheaths in there is now dried up, and it was looking like it was just about to produce a spike, and so there was another one, oh yeah, just down there as well. So yes, that is my fault. Bit sad, but still very exciting that we got 1 beautiful flower. This one isn't fragrant, but that's fine. You know, not everything has to be fragrant, but I love anything pointed, quite striking flower with really bright colors, and that green with the pink is just so nice. So very happy with her. Then moving on, I'll just show you this one quickly. Whoops. Sorry, apologies. The sun keeps going behind clouds and the light keeps changing quite a lot. Also got quite a few Vanda roots in front of this one. I did show this one briefly in one of my most recent videos. This is a very new Vanda, so I can't take credit for these blooms. This one I actually got off Facebook Marketplace, and it was sold to me as a no ID Vanda. But from doing research online, I've popped a tag in its pot because I think it's Vanda Loke. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. I'll show you the little tag I've written. Vanda Loke down there, which is a cross between Vanda luzonica and Vanda lamellata. So I think there's a really good chance that that is what this one is. So I was very happy when I saw this one come up. I love its shape as well. It's got a beautiful shape. It's got sort of almost like the lamellata shape with the luzonica colouring, if that sort of makes sense. Hopefully you can see. But yes, cannot take credit for these ones. It did come in bloom, but they've lasted quite a while. I think I've had this one, I mean, at least about a month, and all the flowers were basically open. There was just sort of two or three flowers at the top that needed to open when I purchased it. But look, they're still lasting really well. They are starting to get a little bit of, oops, sorry, don't mind the motorbikes. They are starting to get a little bit of browning on them now, and the whites are becoming a little bit more dull. So, you know, they're sort of nearing towards the end of their time that they'll be open before they fade. But yes, this one is a lovely Vanda, really nice size as well. Came with some really healthy thick roots too. So yes, very happy with that one. Now I've got something that's also quite exciting. I'll take you over here. This one is not meant to be in bloom at the moment, yet it is. So this one is Dendrobium Hilda Poxon, which is a cross between Dendrobium speciosum and Dendrobium tetragonum. Here we go, that might be a bit of a better angle, it's kind of hard to see. Basically, these guys are meant to be in bloom in spring, and it is currently late summer here in Australia, so theoretically this one should not be blooming at the moment, but it is. I got this one off Facebook Marketplace as well from a grower in Victoria, so he posted this and a couple of others up to me probably in about October, and it was in bloom when I purchased it, but the flowers were fading, or had basically almost faded by the time it got sent to me. So I sort of had an idea of what they looked like, but I was like, oh, I'll have to wait another year until it blooms again. And then a few weeks ago, we noticed that this one had produced quite a decent flower spike. And here we are, we've got some more flowers on there that we can admire. It produces flower spike really quickly as well. I've not had Hilda Poxon before, so I don't know if I assume that's sort of normal for it. But yeah, it was quite impressive, the speed at which it produced its spike, made its buds, and then the buds started opening. So yes, very, very pleased with this one. This one, similar to the Cattleya I showed you before, very striking flower, long, pointy petals. And you can see in the center there, it does have a really beautiful, like tiny, tiny little red spots, a little red labellum, red and yellow labellum. And then yeah, it's just stunning. Very happy with this Hilda Poxon. It is also quite a large plant. I hope you can see. Oops, I'll just move that Spanish moss. And it's got quite a lot of new growths as well that I need to sort of tie up a little bit so that they don't go out too much. I have tied a lot of the pseudobulbs together as well so that they don't fall over. This orchid has actually been living up there on the shelf behind with there's a few other dendrobiums. We've got speciosum, a few kingianums, that sort of thing on that shelf, and they do get some bright morning sunlight and then bright indirect light for the rest of the day. Obviously, I mean, it has been happy enough and it's gotten enough light that it has actually bloomed. So yeah, I'll probably keep it up there for a little while. I've also got some more dendrobiums and things here, as you can see, that do also receive a little bit more light at this time of day than these guys. Normally sort of the sun sort of comes over. This is a northeast facing balcony. So yeah, these ones will receive a little bit more longer hours of light. But yes, I think they do all seem relatively happy, which is fantastic. Okay, and now another little one that if you watched my most recent video, you would have seen this one. This is Encyclia Cochleata Alba. So this is the albino form of the Encyclia Cochleata, the national flower of Belize. And this one looks like a little jellyfish, in my opinion. It is the cutest little orchid. And I mentioned in that video, I actually prefer the Alba form to the normal Cochleata form that's a little bit darker. I just think its flowers are really dainty, really pretty colour. They're also really sweet, beautiful scent. So yeah, if you like orchids that look like little creatures and things, this one is definitely for you. I went through care and everything in that video as well, so if you want to learn more about how to look after this orchid, feel free to check out my last video. I'll link it in the description below as well for you. But this one also came from Roland Orchids in Queensland. I got this one when I actually went up and visited his nursery in person. And at the moment this one's living outside exactly where you see it on this outdoor table, so that it can get a little bit of bright morning sun and then bright indirect light for the rest of the day, which Encyclias really appreciate. Okay, and lucky last orchid for now. Now this one, as you can see, only a couple of them have opened so far, or they're not even sort of fully open. You can see here, oh sorry, excuse my jolty focusing. There you go. Yes, so this one has just opened like last night. So I'll give you a bit more of an update when the rest of the flowers are open. You'll probably know this one because it is my little potted and petaled profile photo. So this one is Rhynchostylis. So this one is Rhynchostylis Coelestis crossed with Aerides Mitrata. And surprise, surprise, can you guess where this one is from other than Roland Orchids again? I just really love his stuff, and I got a lot of my Vandaceous stuff in 2 sort of big hauls from him last year. So yes, this one's from him. I got this one also when I was visiting his nursery in Queensland. And yeah, it's just gorgeous. It's got quite small flowers. I don't know if you can see, I'll put my little fingernail next to it. They're probably like the size of my fingernail, but absolutely gorgeous. This one's leaves are quite pencil-like. They're a lot longer and slimmer than something like the Rhynchostylis above. But yeah, very cute little orchid, beautiful colours, kind of similar to the Retusa, but this one is definitely more purpley than the Retusa. The Retusa is more of a pink colour, and this one doesn't have the spots like the Retusa does. It's got a nice crisp white flower. At the moment, because it's just opened, it is actually more of like a purpley grey in the white, but they do sort of go like a nice stark white after they've been open for a little while. Oh, and it actually looks like maybe it's aborted one of its buds here, that little yellow one. Strange. That's okay. We've had a bit of strange weather. It's been really warm and then really cool this summer, so maybe it's just sort of put it into a little bit of shock, but that's okay. I mean, we've still got quite a few more buds hopefully to open, so I'll give you an update on that one when it's a little bit more open. There we go. You can sort of see a little bit better there. Another one open on that side. But yes, very cute little flowers. They're sort of like more rounded than, you know, something like the Cattleya or the Hilda Poxon, so there's a bit of variety, depends on what you like. And yes, I can't wait for this one to fully open. I'll definitely take some photos and pop them on my Instagram, and maybe do a care video, a spotlight video on this orchid, because I love it. It's very cute and very amazing. It's got some nice chunky roots as well. Yeah, everything seems to be quite happy. I'll get this Retusa down for you for a second so you can have a look. There we go. The Retusa actually has some really nice new, change my settings for you, chunky thick roots there. I hope you can see that it's produced, particularly that one. So yes, I think it's quite happy with itself, and I am just so happy with those blooms. It's just beautiful. Alrighty, well that's everything I've got for you today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. I know it was a bit more of a laid back, chatty type of video, but please give me a like and press subscribe if you would like to see more of my orchid content, and pop a nice comment down below and let me know which of the orchids I've just shown you are your favorite from today's video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.